Well,
Yeah.
tell us about what's going on in real estate business, because you guys went through the first check challenge. How long ago was that?
2 years.
Wow.
And when we went through the first check challenge, I had zero interest in real estate. My husband has been in concrete for quite a while now, probably since about 2014. And ever since he got into concrete, he was kind of trying to find a way out of concrete. So he would get me involved in all kinds of different things like building Shopify stores, e-commerce, different stuff like that. And so when he got into wholesaling, he went down to, I think it was Extreme Freedom. And I didn't go with him. He went by himself. And I was like, yep, if you want to do it, do it. So he took money from his dad, borrowed money from his dad, and then went through the first check challenge and like deal syndicate essentially.
Yeah.
And then I started getting involved kind of just honestly through the first check challenge, like listening to Brandon talk and just kind of getting more involved. And then Chris and another guy that we were in the first check challenge with, his name is Taif, they did a joint venture deal together. And I only helped with the paperwork. That's all I did through that process was paperwork. I helped with the contract and stuff. And then the next deal we got, again, I remember my husband almost didn't think it was.
So real quick, I just want to chime in. So your first deal was a joint venture deal with another student.
Yep.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Awesome. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. That's a really good point to point out.
Yeah, for sure. And it kind of gave them both like proof of concept and confidence. And it also kind of drew me in more because I was like, okay, this actually kind of works, you know?
I just saw Taif just like last week. He is crushing.
I know. You know, he bought a deal from us so we did another deal together, essentially. He sent us a bulk list, like county list, like huge list. I put it through my system, through my cold callers. It came in. And the girl I had on the phone at the time as a follow-up specialist actually contracted it. And then we wholesaled it to Taif. So I don't know if he flipped it with his partners or what they ended up doing with it, but it was a pretty cool deal. And then our second deal, Chris contracted it and it had already been under contract by another wholesaler like the year before, or investor, whatever they were. And it had septic issues. And so Chris was afraid of it. The title company that we were working with, we had went in and sat down with the president. He was looking at the deal. He was like, this is kind of sketchy. I don't know. Maybe you guys should get out of this. But we ended up closing it and we made 20 grand on that one. And I could not tell you. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And so then the next deal that I got on my own, and it was actually in Ocala, Florida, and it was a duplex. And I just posted on Facebook, and a real estate agent reached out to me, and his client was looking for a rental in the area, and they bought it. So that deal was like made way too easy for me as well. And then, you know, I honestly couldn't tell you anymore how many deals we've had, but we have one other person that's on the phone with me right now outside of our cold callers. We have 5 cold callers and 2 texters right now. And then we're also doing PPC marketing. And we just started the PPC. Chris hired it out. So those leads are starting to come in, but I'm on the phone closing still. I took myself off the phones a little too soon. And then and it was going really well at first. And I think it was because I had so much data that I could not cover on my own. So the 2 people, the follow-up specialist and the closer that I had on the phones with me, I think they were kind of grabbing the low-hanging fruit. And then, so it was seeming like it was going really good, right? And then then it like stopped. And we went like 2 months without a deal. And then I got back on the phones and we started getting deals again. So we're like, okay, it's not our data. And we're working through a lot of stuff. Like my closer that's with us still, and I actually moved him back to follow-up specialist. He's from El Salvador, and he is like incredible. He is really, really coachable. He has great English. He has great like tonality on the phone, but what he's lacking is responding to people appropriately. Like he just wants to read the script and think about what he's going to say next versus truly listening to them and solving the problem. So he's a great follow-up specialist, not a good closer for that reason. So you got to make sure you have the right people in the right seat. Biggest, like that's the learning curve we're going through right now. We can get deals. I can get deals. Chris can close, like he's dispo, he can sell deals. Like we have got that down. Now it's hiring and training, and it's difficult, very difficult.
Yeah, Now, how did you guys first start finding your deals? What's the first marketing method you used?
So we hired a cold caller out of the Philippines. We could not afford to do full time, so we hired a girl for, she was like $5 or $6 an hour, and she worked part time. So she did 20 hours a week, and she was on the phone. Chris and I were easily able to identify that we did not have the time to cold call. And if you don't have the time to cold call, and you don't have to have time to like stay committed and be on the phones, you've got to have some kind of marketing like that. And I would either recommend SMS or cold calling for that, and hiring like a VA to do it for you. And it gave us the deal, like the lead flow that we needed in order for me to like, I literally didn't even keep up with all of the leads that came in. I would just call the hot ones. I would call the hot ones. I'd be like, okay, that one looks good. That one looks good. That one looks good. Cause I was so busy, right? We didn't get consistent. Chris and I did not get serious about this business until about a year ago.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's a lot of changes.